Hello, people. It's Perky Perkins back again. I have another little story for you. This one is called the Liberty Bell. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful bell. The bell was in a bell tower in the town square. The people loved their bell. They called it the Liberty Bell. Each day the bell tolled the hours of the day. The gold and bronze bell gleamed in the morning sunlight. When the people heard the bell ring out loud and clear, they knew that they belonged. One day a tall, dark stranger rode into town. He asked the innkeeper if he could stay at the inn, but the innkeeper said there was no room at the inn. When he walked by the general store, the storekeeper pulled down the shade and shut the door. When women saw him coming, they pressed their children close to their side and crossed to the other side of the sidewalk. The stranger asked the stable master if he could sleep in the stable. The stable master said he could sleep on the hay over in the corner of the stable. The next morning, the town was strangely silent. The bell didn't ring. The people wondered what happened. They hurried down to the bell tower. People gasped when they looked up at the bell. There was a giant crack in the middle of the bell. The people were heartbroken. Grown men sunk to their knees. Women and children huddled together. The tall, dark stranger approached the bell tower. He looked up at the bell and said, "What really matters is what the bell stood for." The people paused and hung their heads in shame. The innkeeper stepped forward with his hat in his hand and said, "You're right, it's what the bell stands for that really matters. I'm sorry for the way I treated you the other day." The storekeeper said, "I'm sorry too, I should have known better." The men nodded their heads and the women curtsied. The stranger returned to the stable. The next day, the early morning hours were filled with a ringing sound. The people couldn't believe what they heard. They hurried down to the bell tower to see what happened. To their amazement, the crack in the bell was gone. The people cheered, and then they turned their attention to the stranger. They thanked the stranger for his advice. The stranger tipped his hat and saddled up. The last thing he said as he rode out of town was, "The bell of liberty rings best when it rings for everybody." Well, that's it for now, people. I'll see you all a little later on. Bye-bye.